So, a major shout out to all those that have supported the Beer Donation Fund, which is also the U-Haul lawsuit fund now. Last time, they weren't all that happy. I got a text message on my personal phone number, which I used to rent the U-Haul last time. And it was somebody that worked there that was a fan of the channel, warning me that I was being discussed in internal memos. And then they shared the memos with me. And they were trying to figure out if what I was doing was somehow in the books against the rules. But nothing ever came of it, other than I got put on whatever their blacklist is, or the e-alerts, I think is what they called it. And so I didn't try to actually rent one. It's not hard to find somebody to rent one, though. So, yeah, hopefully U-Haul has a good sense of humor about this, and I don't encourage anybody to use a U-Haul in this way. But it was just so tantalizing. It was just right there, $29 for the day, plus the $1 a kilometer or mile rate, and we put on one or two. So it's an affordable way to camp. And I did hear people doing this in the past, because you have to be 25 sometimes to rent a car. And people, like university students, would be going out on a road trip and wanted to have somewhere to camp, and they couldn't rent a motorhome. So I'm not the first person to be doing this. So, yeah. Anyway, we'll see what happens. I'm not too concerned. But again, U-Haul, I apologize. I mean no harm by this. Oh, what a day, though. Speaking of U-Hauls, I better start pulling that thing apart and getting ready to take off. The campground, I think you got to be out by noon or something, and I spent a lot of the morning kind of walking around. This is the best spot I've seen by far. This is absolutely my happiest place. Now I got to climb all the way back up there. Looks more intimidating on the way up, actually, than it did on the way down. Oh, what's the best way to do this? Sure. All right. Probably should have stayed for more than one night for all this setup work, but that's okay. The air mattress is deflated anyways, so I'm going to start tearing all this stuff down and packing it up. I did have to make another trip to bring the extra stuff that appeared yesterday, like the chairs and guitar. However, we lost the curtain. Made it through the night, though. Made it through the night. Not bad. Thanks for watching, everybody. If you want to see more extreme sleeping, sleeping gone wild in the craziest places that you could imagine, please subscribe. I'll try to keep coming up with these things. I was out of ideas 2 years ago, and somehow I've kept on going. So thank you for all the support. Cheers. Hunker down, my friends. We'll see you next time.
Lowe's knows you want the top deals on our best brands. And now with buy two, get one free exterior paints and stains during Springfest, it's the perfect time to tackle your next project. Save on your next project now with Lowe's. Lowe's knows how to help you spring.
Welcome to Camping with Steve. Just leaving the car here in a parking lot because we got a pretty good stealther today. I really scaled the gear back. I've got some different stuff that's a lot smaller because I tried to do a stealth camp last time, and this backpack was like the most humongous thing that's ever existed. So we're in this urban area of Edmonton. It's got a greater metro population of, around 1 million people. And there's so many wooded areas like this right behind me. So you can see what's going to happen here. This place we're going to tonight used to be a campground up until fairly recently. It's been abandoned because they built a bunch of subdivisions all around it with really nice homes. And that is not copacetic with campgrounds right in their backyard. So it's turned into kind of a city park instead of a campground, but it will be used as a campground again tonight. There is still kind of remnants of the campground that used to be here. There's actually still signs that say what the site numbers were. So I'm going to sneak back in there. It looks like there's an old water spout or something, and it should be fairly level. Should be one of the old campsites, but it's all grown in. I found a pretty good spot. It's a little close to the trail, but that's okay because I got the camo netting and everything. But it's stinking hot. That heat warning is back on, and it's about 32 Celsius or 90 degrees Fahrenheit here. And there's no breeze in these woods. So I'm going to get this backpack off and go to the outside, cool off a little bit, and see just how obvious the backpack is even through these woods here. Definitely potential to be seen in there. So I'll string that camo netting up and start to get the shelter set up. Then I'll just kind of abandon it and we'll go walk around and do the rest of the tour of this campground. This is the very first stuff I'm going to put up. It's this. Comes with zip ties. I don't think I'll need them, but you never know. It's this die-cut camo cloth. And it's kind of like the material of like a J-cloth for cleaning. So it's really durable. It doesn't make noise. Not much noise. And this will conceal things very well. I got the most appropriate color I could. I have another one for a slightly different season. Prime time hour for hikers and joggers right now. That gives me a little more stealth here. Another couple coming down the trail.
Should we go back? What?
Okay, my heart just stopped there. That's exactly what I was always afraid of. It's a dog running up to the campsite. Whew. Now that that's over, the second thing I'm going to do is turn on my Thermacell insect repellent right after I move this leaf out of the way of the camera. There you go, little guy. Okay. We'll get that going, and the heart will start beating again, and everything's going to be all right. My efforts to go lightweight, I've got these smaller butane cylinders. Nothing to worry about, just a couple of cyclists. And these smaller ones. And this model of the Thermacell that screws right onto the butane. I've shown that in a few videos, but in case people are wondering what it is that's driving the bugs away. I know there's sometimes new viewers to the channel that haven't seen the old ones. Thermacell. Get my hand up, please. Yes, they're not a sponsor. It just works. So I don't mind showing the gear that works. All right, and I can see it lit up through the little viewing hole. And we'll let that gas the area here and make sure not to leave any trace behind, because that's the reason they don't want people camping here. It's been pretty much non-stop with pedestrians and cyclists, so I've just been chilling here. I've got this little dollar store folding tripod chair. They're cheap and it works. So I got a tent footprint I'm going to put down. I'm just using this little screen tent teepee thing. It folds up really small. This is kind of parts of the new kit that I've got for a little more stealth here during the summer when I don't want to bring the whole kit. Okay, that's not stealthy. Note, Velcro's not your friend for stealth here. And neither is this neon green stuff. Okay. Oh, thank God it's gray. Okay. Throw this down here. It's got the sleeping bag and the shelter in it. This thing I'm using is called the mosquito pyramid net. And never even heard of it before. But I was in the store looking for a screen, and it wasn't even that badly priced. So this fit the bill nicely. I don't know how much this thing's gonna do, but okay. I've had about enough of hiding in the woods here. I'm gonna get out there and have a water and cool off in the breeze if there is any breeze. Oh yeah. Much better, much better. Oh, it feels good to be out of there and get some air movement on me. So the main trail is this thing here. That's the one I came down on, and I am stealth camped right in there. I'm just out here taking a look to see what I can see, because that's what I do. If anybody asks why I'm out with the camera, I'll just tell them I'm trying to film a flying squirrel or something. I don't know, but stealth camp is right in there. There we are. Outside and back. Where's that stuff?